Hello, so I am answering that question today. And short answer to that question is no, you do not have to have any prior experience when you are studying for a medical billing or medical coding certification. However, if you go through AAPC for sure, and I'm sure probably AHEMA as well, they do recommend that you have some prereqs taken. The prereqs that they recommend are the fundamentals of medicine, anatomy, physiology, and medical terminology. Now, in my experience, I had some college under my belt before I went into this field, and I was already like gearing myself up to become something in the medical field anyway. So I was required for my major to take anatomy and physiology and medical terminology. So I already had that covered. But I do know people that have taken medical coding classes and don't have anatomy and physiology and don't have medical terminology prior to the test. It makes it a little bit harder because you now have to learn these things while you're learning medical coding. So some of the words and concepts may be a little bit foreign to you because you haven't had those classes. It's not that hard to, kind of gain knowledge of medical terminology or anatomy and physiology. You can go on Amazon and buy some workbooks, buy a medical dictionary, flashcards, Quizlet, things like that. That's, just Google medical terminology or anatomy and physiology or disease processes, and you will get a plethora of workbooks and stuff that will help you to, get that experience. But it is very helpful, especially if you go into coding, because you're going to be reading medical records, and of course providers speak in those terms. They speak in medical terminology. They understand, they've been studying disease processes for 8+ years and throughout their whole career. So they talk about the procedures that they do by way of the process of whatever diseases that they're treating. So it's very, very, very essential that you gain understanding of those things. You don't necessarily have to take those classes through AAPC, but you have to gain that knowledge some way, somehow, in order to be a great coder. If you once you get into the field and you converse with other coders and other billers, and a lot of coders and billers make transitions from other careers. A lot of nurses transition from nursing to coding, and they have that clinical knowledge and they understand it from that perspective. And that's why a lot of people always say that nurses and other medical professionals, they make great coders because they have that clinical knowledge in their repertoire. Like they have that. So if you don't have the experience with the clinical knowledge, you have to gain it some way, somehow. It's not necessary to gain it beforehand, but it is highly encouraged to make your life a lot easier and to make your career a lot more enjoyable. So I hope that helped. I'll talk to you later.